We are the morning hustle.
Good morning. Who is this? Where you calling from?
Jasmine calling from Dallas.
Jazz in Dallas. All right, what's your thoughts on this?
I couldn't agree more with anything that you guys said. You guys hit everything. I think that it is a variety of social media, people seeing other people living their lives so they feel rejected, they don't feel accepted. I also think that it has a little bit to do with unhealed childhood trauma because in the Black families, we were taught that you don't have depression, you don't have anxiety, especially if you're raised in the church. You just need to pray a little more. You need to go to God a little more. And that's not necessarily the case. So a lot of people have just held on to the things that they were going through, and they don't talk about it out of fear of being judged, of being talked about. So then they get to that point where they just lash out and they go and do the unexplainable. Mm-hmm. And once it's all said and done, people come back and say, oh, I wish they would have talked to me. I wish I would have seen the signs when all along they were there.
Right.
You just weren't paying attention to the signs. They were there. Mm-hmm. You just weren't paying attention.
Got you,
So
Jazz.
now you have unnecessary lives lost, children who are not able to live out the life that God has given them, all because somebody did not take the time to heal an adult that's still mentally a child.
Got you. Thank you for that, Jazz. We appreciate that. Dr. Tar, what do you think about what Jazz just told us?
She is absolutely right.
Yeah.
All right, so this thing called ACEs, ACE, Adverse Childhood Experiences, right? And when you have 3 to 5 of those, your chances of growing up with unhealed trauma are extremely high. So
3 to 5, you said?
Yeah, so like adverse childhood experiences. Have you ever been a victim of seen domestic violence? Mm-hmm. Have you seen community violence? Was your father in the home? Have you ever been a victim of child molestation? Have you ever been in fights with your siblings or neighborhood? Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen drugs and alcohol? Has any member of your family ever gone to jail or died? When you start adding those things up, people listen to that like, man, I have a lot of ACEs. Yeah. Well, we don't go talk about them, right? So where does that go, right? And so that changes the physiology of your brain. I used to work in Inglewood and then here in Kirkwood, and so when you'd have incidents of violence, the police come in, remove, in this case, domestic violence, but the kids are still in the household, and they're watching this, and then the next day there's someone that gets shot, and then there's the next day someone goes to jail. They're watching all these traumas. So you can have 5 ACEs in 3 days and then go to school and someone, all right?
You're naming a bunch of those things, and as you're naming them, I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that was a trauma. I've been through that.
So how does that impact your relationships?
Facts. Let's keep it going. Back to the phone lines. Good morning. Who is this? Where you calling from?
This is Angelo from Baltimore.
Hi, Angelo. What's your thoughts on this today?
Man, listen, I appreciate the fact that you guys have brought this conversation up because personally for myself, I went through bad depression, and it was tailored to social media. I noticed that there was a lot of negative things that was going on, and like you guys said, I seeked out to get therapy. And when I removed social media from like my life and I talked about like all the issues that was like facing me, then I felt so much good. It was like so much pressure, so much like anger, frustration that was like taken off of my shoulders. And I get scared because it's like when I see all this like negative stuff going on with the kids that are exposed to social media, like, and I hear about these stories that's going on, it's like, I wish that we can go back to a time when there was no social media, there was no internet, there was nothing, and kids just went outside and played, and we just enjoyed life. And, just a few minutes ago, you guys talked about, like, where do you get the news? I just remember as a kid, we had, like, that little news thing that we went into the school, and it was on the television, and that's where we got our news from.
Gotcha.
Right.
Appreciate the call, bro.
And like, those little things like that, and it means a lot, and it plays a part into, like, where we are today in society.
Very good point. Appreciate you, Angelo. I'm with him, man, Doc. I wish I could. There's plenty of days I wish I could just turn off my social media. I wish I could.
Yeah. Well, we know from the research social media is by and large very bad, right? That's why it's been removed from all schools, all right? So kids don't have cell phones anymore. We need to do the same thing in colleges because kids are not socializing. So why is that a problem? One is increasing loneliness. We're at homes on our phones, but we're not connecting face-to-face anymore. There's a huge loneliness epidemic. Two, scrolling social media, unless you're interacting and using it like a text device, actually makes you feel worse about your life, right? So you're looking like, I'm doing well, and I look at you, I'm like, man, he took his wife to the Maldives. We went to Hilton Head, right? I feel bad, and so you're scrolling and you're seeing people's lives be better. And
what is Hilton Head? You're like the fifth person I heard say
Hilton
that.
Head's a
love
nice
Hilton
place.
Head.
What's
It's a
that?
nice place.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Hilton Head.
In
You
South
are
Carolina.
I've never heard of it before.
But you could
this
be on
week.
vacation. Hilton Head, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
Falls City Island.
Yeah, when that, so many people keep talking about it this week, I'm like, what is? I've been to Maldives though,
I see.
so I'm probably part of the problem.
Yeah,
No, I'm
so,
joking.
but also what he's talking about, and I want men to hear this, the weakest man is the silent man. Now, we're talking about mental toughness. We're talking about resiliency, the ability to handle pressure. The man that's keeping that in is actually the weakest man because he is breaking his own body down, and it's only a matter of time before he makes a mistake.
He
So when
doesn't
he was
wanna give
talking
his
about, I'm hearing
emotions.
men, when you start talking about counseling, you start talking about coaching, you start talking about releasing your stress. New study came out, 64% of men are stressed. I think that's actually too low because
Yeah,
men are
right.
going to
I
underreport,
agree.
right? All right. And number one stressor for men mostly is finances, relationships, parenting. Who am I? Am I actually able to be the man I want to be when I'm out in the world and manage all these responsibilities? Well, if you're only dealing with that in your head and you're not getting wise counsel from someone that treats you as the CEO of your life, right? Guess why more men are coming in. Once their friends start talking about what they got out of it, they're like, yo, I need that. A place that someone's not going to judge me, not going to talk. Most insurance does cover it, right? I'm only paying like a $25 copay, and I can talk about what's going on in my life and actually strategize with someone. I'm going to go ahead and do that because I can't talk to anybody else because I have to worry about what they're going to say and think about me.
Dr. Tart is hanging out with us today, giving some advice. We're taking your phone calls, 866-HUSTLE-8, 866-487-8538. Hit us up, man. We're just talking about some of the things that are causing people to kind of lose it these days because we've been dealing with a lot of incidents, and we want to know your thoughts, man. It's the Morning Hustle.